What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 11 of the Week in Review. I am your host, as always, of this lovely internet show, Sean, and on this week's show, it's going to be a little bit different because we're going to talk about the best movies and games so far this year. I have brief impressions of Far Cry 5 and Golf Story. I have a limited edition trio of items, and we'll look forward to the week's new releases. We will start with Far Cry 5, a game that I haven't played a ton of. I haven't played a ton of Golf Story either, but I'll give you a few brief first impressions of it. I've played about 3 hours, maybe. That seems like actually an overguesstimate. It's probably closer to 2. I think it starts out with an interesting opening. I don't really have much of the story beyond that. I interacted with one of the other characters, but I still don't really know what's going on. I feel like that's kind of the point of this so far. My big worry with this particular game is it feels so much like Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4. And I never finished either of those games. And I dumped a bunch of time into them, but I just fell off for whatever reason. Other stuff came out, or the story just wasn't interesting enough. And they do a great job with villains, but they do this super annoying thing where they introduce you to, in 4 it was Pagan Min, in 3 it was Voss, in 5 it's the father. They introduce you to these super interesting villains, and then the villains kind of just leave and don't really have anything to do with the story for most of it. And it's like, it really irks me. It's super annoying because you have such a strong antagonist. Like, I'd like them to be more in the forefront. I'd like to interact with them more and just have them have more to do, I guess, if that makes sense. That a lot of haves in that sentence, but it's fine. So I'll run through a couple of quick notes here. One, it's really easy to get distracted from the main goal. Like I said, I've only played 3 hours, don't have much of the story. I think I've done like 3 or 4 story missions, which, like, is fine. It's not a big of a deal. Stuff just pops up all the time, all over the place, and that can be a little frustrating because, like, I just want to get to point A, like from point A to point B, and then there's something over here that I want to go do, and then there's something over here that I want to go do, and it's like, I just leave me alone. I just want to go to the storyline. But because I play this game a little obsessive compulsively, where, like, I just want to click everything off the map, it slows my progress down a lot, and that can be kind of frustrating. I'm worried that I'm going to lose the thread of the story. I mean, not that I mean, it's pretty easy to follow, but it's the nuanced stuff. It's like, I understand this character is bad because of X, Y, and Z, but I'd like to know more about them. I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's a thought that's not super fully fleshed out because, again, I haven't played very much of this game, so it's when I was playing it, it was something I noticed. I noticed that I was like, oof, like, I'm 3 hours in and I already don't really know what's going on, and if I keep getting distracted, that's just going to get more and more away from me as to what the hell I'm supposed to be doing. There are 9 companions in the game. I think there are like 6 humans and 3 animals. And they have a bear named Cheeseburger, which is like just the most perfect name. I've never thought about like what I would name a bear. You know, I never sat there and was like, what do I name this bear? You know, what do I name? Cheeseburger is a brilliant name for a bear, and I love it. As for me, I don't have the bear just yet, but I'll get to the bear eventually, the beautiful Cheeseburger bear. Who I went with was the lion, Cougar Peaches. And I really like cougars. It does bring back like some spooky memories of Red Dead Redemption 1, which is always fun to do, because, man, those cougars are terrifying in that game. But I went and got it, so that's who my current companion is. I'll probably go pick up Cheeseburger here in a little bit, and I know you can get Boomer the dog. I'm looking forward to playing more. Hopefully I'll get to more this week, and I'll have some additional impressions next week. This does feel like a game that I could spend like 8 or 10 hours with, and not really come back to, but it also feels like it could be a game that just works really well. I put in as many hours as it takes to get the completion. As of the time of this recording, I have 3 achievements for 45 gamer score. No, check that. No, 3 achievements for 45 gamer score, which is fine. The list looks pretty good. Look for more impressions on this game in the coming weeks. The second game this week is Golf Story, which is a game that's currently on the Switch. I don't know if it's on any other platforms. I could have looked, but I didn't. I really like this game. It's another 3-click golf game. We talked about the 3-click golf game with Everybody's Golf, and this is working well for me as well. I played it on my way to Seattle, so I spent about an hour and a half with this particular game, and I came away with just a couple of notes, kind of like Far Cry 5. I didn't put a ton of time into games this week because of traveling, but, which is, I mean, that's fine. It's, you know, I forgot my Switch charger when I was going to Seattle, and my phone charger. so I didn't really have an option. I was like trying to conserve battery, but then I fell asleep on the ride home anyway, so could have played more on the way too, but I didn't. Anyway, I'll get back to the golf story. Again, just a couple notes. One, like I said, only played about an hour. Two, I really like the way the XP system works in this particular game. Every time you level up, you get like 5 or 10 points, somewhere in there. I'm not exactly sure. But you can upgrade them in 5 different statistical categories, but I like to put them in power because I like to just hit the ball really, really far. That's a baseball swing. I don't have room to do a golf swing here. Anyway, boy, this review is really going off the rails. My point is, I like the way the XP system works because if you put it all into power, it makes your shots less accurate, or it'll pull left or pull right. So you have to put points into that if you want to shoot it straight, which is I prefer to have it just go straight. I don't want to. I'm already bad enough at the wind. I don't need help pulling it left or pulling it right or whatever. I think this game has a good pace. It gives you lots of stuff to do, lots of little mini challenge or mini quests to do, and just kind of keeps you on a roll, keeps you with something to do. I do wish there was like more golf in it, because I've only played like 1 or 2 official like rounds of golf, and it's a game called Golf Story. So, I mean, that's a minor complaint, I'm sure. Again, being super early in, it probably changes towards the latter part of the game, but it's still introducing new mechanics and things of that nature. So, I am looking forward to playing more of this game. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to get to it. I think this is a great car game. There's not a ton going on, so you don't have to worry about like a ton of motion on your screen and you're going to get car sick or whatever. But I think this is a good car game. I'll probably boot some up on the big screen or when I'm just kind of hanging out, lounging around. There's a little bit of a story there, but it's nothing too intense. So you could like watch a baseball game and play Golf Story, and you probably won't miss anything from either. So, that's some early impressions on Golf Story. That'll probably be back on the show later on down the road, but that one could be a lot farther because I may just use that as like a travel game. We'll see what happens. I like it so far, and I'm looking forward to playing more. I did want to mention three quick things that I thought would be on this week's show but aren't. The first is Isle of Dogs. I had a shot to maybe see it in Seattle. Didn't work out. Not that big of a deal. It'll be in Spokane soon, I'm sure. Doesn't look like it's going to make it this week, but hopefully next week. Number 2, MLB The Show 18. I didn't play any of it. I mean, I played like a little bit. I got 2 trophies out of it, but I set up the controls and that's about it. I'm sure I'll get to more baseball this week. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's not on the top of my list, but I am like really feeling like I just want to play some baseball. That's a baseball swing. That's where I could put that, instead of trying to wedge it into the Golf Story thing. Anyway, MLB The Show 18 will probably be on the show in the future. I like what I've played so far of it, but I played 15 minutes. Thought about playing a game, just didn't. It'll be on the show in the future. Third and final thing that I want to mention is Batman, the Telltale series, The Enemy Within. Boy, that's a jumble of words. Batman, The Enemy Within, episode 5, hit last week. I thought I would get to it. Just didn't have time. So that'll be on the show this next week. I'm pretty sure. We'll see, but it should make it soon. I'd really like to finish that particular game. So look forward to all 3 of those items sometime down the road. Now it's time for this week's main segment. Well, segments, because we're going to split them into 2 little chunks here. First, we're going to talk about best of the year so far in the games category. And if you've watched this show for any amount of time, you probably know exactly where this is going. It's Sea of Thieves. I love Sea of Thieves so much. It's such a great game. There's lots of other previous episodes have more information on that. I'm still really enjoying it. I played it more than I played Far Cry 5 over this last week. I really, really like this game. I can't even get the words out of my mouth for how much I like this game. I haven't actually played a ton that's really stuck out to me. I mean, it's Sea of Thieves and then The Station, maybe, but that's not even that good. It's been a little bit of a slow start to the year. Looking over my list, I wrote down some stuff that I had missed, and it wasn't a ton. The only stuff I had missed was like something like Far Cry 5, which I haven't put a ton of time into, MLB The Show 18, Ni no Kuni 2, and A Way Out, and all of those came out within the last like week and a half. Oh, and Burnout Paradise as well. But all those came out in the last couple of weeks, so I just haven't had the time for it. As for what's next, looking forward to quarter 2. A couple games in April in Hellblade coming to Xbox One. Owlboy is also out. May has a bunch of different games, including Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, I believe is the whole title. That's coming to the Switch in early May. We also have Detroit Become Human, State of Decay 2, which I think could be like sleeper game of the year contender. I'm really, really excited about that game, and I'm sure I'll talk about it a bunch leading up to launch, but man, State of Decay 1 is a fantastic game. They're adding 4-player co-op into State of Decay 2. Oh man, I'm so pumped. June has 3 releases that I'm excited about, or at least are on my radar. Mario Tennis Aces hits the Switch in June. Onrush and The Crew 2 are all out in June as well. I don't know if The Crew 2 is going to hit that date, but it's on my list at the moment. So I've picked my game of the year so far in Sea of Thieves, and I've looked forward to quarter 2 with giving State of Decay 2 probably the most anticipated award for the next quarter. Let's switch over to the movie side. The top 3 movies for me this year so far are number 1, Love, Simon. That movie's great. It's in last week's episode. Number 2 is Thoroughbreds, which I kind of blanked on there for a second. Thoroughbreds. And number 3 is A Fantastic Woman. Those are in 2 weeks ago's episode. This is 11, so episode 9 has more in-depth thoughts on those. Shout out / like honorable mention, just on the outside looking in, is Game Night, which is a really great movie. I like all 3 of those movies a lot. All 4 of those movies, actually. I like those a lot. I didn't miss very many movies this year. I've been pretty on top of that. The only thing I could really come up with was something like Tomb Raider, which I wanted to see, but I just haven't gotten to quite yet. I think this weekend might be my last chance. It's down to like 1 showtime at the theater I normally go to, so we'll see if it makes it. If not, maybe I'll just check it out on Blu-ray. As far as what's next, April has 4 movies. It has A Quiet Place, it has Blockers, it has Borg versus McEnroe, which I think is a tennis movie that has Shia LaBeouf in it, so yeah, sure, why not? And it also has Disobedience from the director of A Fantastic Woman. May has a couple of movies in Tully and Life of the Party, and June has The Incredibles 2, Ocean's 8, and a movie called Tag. Obviously, these lists on both the movie side and the game side are incomplete. Stuff's going to pop up, stuff's going to get shifted and moved around, so we'll see what sticks, and we'll see how quarter 2 pans out, and see where we are in another 3 months here on A Week in Review. On this week's limited edition, we have 3 flavors of M&ms, or the 3 flavors M&m trilogy. There's one reference that like 3 people might get. There are 3 different flavors, and they are, hopefully this isn't too terrible on the audio, oh boy, raspberry M&ms. They are all the crunchy, which is good, because the crispy M&ms are my favorite. So we have raspberry, oh boy, that sounds awful. We have espresso, and mint. So we'll give these a try here. If I had to guess, because I've already eaten a bunch, the raspberry is probably going to be my favorite. The mint is going to be in second, and because I don't like coffee, espresso is going to be in third. As a bonus, you can vote and like text a message or whatever. I sound like 95 years. You send like a text message, and somebody might get it at some point, I think. I don't know how it works. Maybe an email. Just maybe send a postcard. Anyway. You can text VOTE to some number or share your reaction with hashtag vote crunchy raspberry, or crunchy, whichever flavor you want to vote for. So, whatever. So, I know what the raspberry tastes like, and they're really, really good. I like them a lot. So let's crack open the mint. Oh, that's going to be awful on the audio. We'll open them over here. It's so bad. Just looking at it on the thing. Ooh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the audio nightmare that I'm sure this is. Come in a variety of colors, which is nice. I have light green, brown, regular green. Smell minty. That's always good. That's always good. Those are fine. They're good, but not anything wildly exciting, I guess. I don't know. Let's try the espresso. I'm just going to eat one of these, because I don't... it's fine. The coffee flavor isn't as strong as I thought it would be, but it's definitely there. I also just ate like 3 mint ones, so who knows? My opinion could be way totally wrong, but whatever. It's definitely there. It has a very strong aftertaste of coffee. It's not as coffee-y right in the first crunch as I anticipated. So, and we'll cleanse our palates with the raspberry. God, that's gonna be such bad audio. Oh, I'm so sorry. Don't wear headphones with this episode. I mean, you're this far in with headphones if you're watching with headphones. So in that case, I apologize. Maybe I'll put a warning at the beginning. I won't. That's a lot of work. We'll try these. I was gonna try and get. There's a red raspberry. Oh, I'm just making it worse. So there's the raspberry. I realized I didn't show off the espresso. The colors are just brown, just various shades of brown. Not that exciting. I'm gonna eat 5 of these. Oh, hell yeah. So those are the 3, as I predicted. I knew where they were going to land. I'm so excited about these that I can't talk. My words fumble when I get all pumped. Anyway, go try them. They were on sale for like 5 for $5 at Safeway at the time of this recording, maybe. So check them out. I'm gonna vote raspberry. Raspberry number 1. Keep it in the loop, M&ms. Keep it in the loop. So go try them out and let me know what you think. Finally, we'll look at what's new this week in theaters. Blockers and A Quiet Place are out. I'm looking forward to seeing both of those. Probably do one on Saturday, one on Sunday. On the game side, there is a whole lot of nothing. There's like a bunch of small games, but nothing really stuck out. So I don't have any picks. So maybe check the Xbox Wire or the PSN drop. See if there's anything that interests you. The PlayStation Plus games are up this month. I would very strongly recommend checking out Mad Max on PS4. Trackmania Turbo is also available on the PlayStation 4. There's a bunch of other Vita and PlayStation 3 games. I didn't really take note of any of them. None of them seemed all that interesting. There might be some cross-buy, so I would look into that a little bit more. But definitely check out Mad Max. April's Games with Gold are also available. Right now, you can pick up The Witness and Cars 2, which is actually a really good game. That's on the 360. If you have an Xbox One, it's backwards compatible as well. Assassin's Creed Syndicate hits on the 16th of this month, as does, I want to say it's Dead Space 2. One of the Dead Space games hits as well. So it's a pretty stacked month as far as the Xbox stuff is concerned. Speaking of Xbox, Game Pass also got 8 new games. I'm going to tell you about 2 of them. Cluster Truck and Cities Skylines are both the highlights this month. Cluster Truck is kind of like a puzzle platformer game. You have to jump on the tops of trucks from the start to get to the goal. That's the point of the game. It's silly fun. I really enjoyed what I played of it. And City Skylines is like SimCity, but better. And I'm talking about not like overall SimCity, I'm just talking about the most recent SimCity. It's like that game, but better. It's sitting on my hard drive. I haven't played it, but I would recommend checking both of those games out. I heard good things about City Skylines. I just never got into it. That's the show for this week. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you to all the subscribers out there. Thank you for all the views. Your support's really, really awesome. If I missed something or if you're excited about something, let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoy the show, maybe you leave a like, subscribe up above, wherever the heck it is. I'm not really sure. You can follow me on social media if you want. I'll put the links down in the description below. Be sure to check back every Tuesday for more game and movie content. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.